In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to back an Irish jig called Out on the Ocean. I have Mr. Shane Hayes here on the button accordion to play through for us. I'm going to go through the strumming patterns and I'm going to bring up the chords on the side here and we'll break down things nice and slow. First off, we're going to listen to it once through at session speed and then we'll slow things down. Let's go for it. Hey, it's Adon here, adoncoin.com, where I teach you how to play in DADGAD guitar. If this is your first time here and you want to learn more about Irish music, songs and guitar techniques, click the subscribe button now and the bell so you don't miss out on anything. I'm all finished up with the summer touring now. I was over in America playing all the Irish festivals with socks in the frying pan, and I had Shane Hayes, of course, playing the accordion. And this is a tune that the two of us would have played for years and years. We've been going about 14 years as a band now, so this is one of the tunes we would have played in sessions in Ennis, so Out on the Ocean. So we'll start with the rhythm now and we'll work our way through and we'll get to the chords soon enough. So this is an Irish jig, so it's in 6/8 time, and I usually use a double down strum for it. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down, up, down, down, up, down. And we'll go a little slower. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down, up, down, down, up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down, up, down, down, up, down. So that can be a bit tricky if it's your first time doing jig strums, but I have a video that goes much slower and does lots of exercises for it. So I'll leave that up here or down in the description. You can check that out and kind of bring it up to tempo, up to session speed and getting used to that strum. So if you are used to that strum, what I like to do in this particular tune, Out in the Ocean, is really get a bit more nuanced with the right hand. So instead of just strumming all the strings with that down, up, down strum or double down strum, I like to change between the treble end and the bass end. So if we break it down, each bar, I'd have, say, break it into 4 bars. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 1, you want to hit the bass. So I keep everything to the treble end apart from the very first 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, and bass. 2, 3, 4, and bass. So it really lends itself to this tune anyway. So going from just highlighting the treble end and then that bass on the 1. So up to speed would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, and 4, and bass. 2, 3, 4, and bass. 2, 3, 4, and bass. 2, 3, 4, and bass. So you want to start slow and bring it up, and the best way to do that is get your metronome out. There's a free metronome on Google. If you just type in metronome, you'll be able to use it there and kind of just bring that speed up and just practice. You don't have to even have a chord, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and then get that bass in on the 1. So you're just moving from the treble end to the low end. We're on to the chords now, and I'm working off of this D major shape. We have the capo on the 5th fret, so it's a G chord. We're in the key of G. And for this whole tune, I try and keep a light touch, really, definitely for part 1 anyway, just this nice. So that light touch is kind of coming from your right hand, but as well as that, I'm going to stay with these mid-tone chords just for the first half. So that type of feel. And we'll bring in the bass end for the second half then, so it pushes things along. So let's go through these chords. We have the D major shape, and there's only a few chords we're going to be kind of tickling as we go through this tune and trying to follow the melody a bit. So I go from this D major to, we have this 1 finger on the 2nd fret of that middle D string, which would be kind of an E shape. Then we have this F sharp minor shape. First finger on the second fret of that G string and third finger on the fourth fret of the middle D. Then we slide up to this G shape. So that's second finger on the fourth fret of the G string and third finger on the fifth fret of that middle D. So even with those chords alone, we can kind of get a feel. We can start off with a D modal shape. We can drop our finger to get that D major, our third finger to get the D major. Then we add in that jig strum. So D modal, D major. So that's your E shape. So D modal, D major, E, F, sharp minor, slide up to the G, and kind of move between those two. And you're just trying to follow the melody a bit with these chords. So using your ear, you know, to follow instead of having these set chords. You just want to try and dance around the melody a bit. You can take that G shape and slide it up 2 frets to get the A shape. So excuse my lilting, but it might go like this. Something like that. So you're kind of moving, using these shapes just to move around the melody a bit. So they'd be the main type of 2-finger chords that we're using for part 1. There might be another, just to finish off part 1, maybe make it a bit stronger before going into part 2. The other 2 chords I might use will be this full G shape. So we're now introducing a little bit of that low. So that's a 3-finger chord, and you're sliding that up to get an A as well. And one other kind of movement that you might see me doing is this hammer on from the 3rd finger on that low A string of the 4th fret of the low A onto that little finger on the 5th fret. So outside of that, we'll kind of go through it. Higher, back to that modal. There's that. Up to the A. So kind of dancing around like that. There's no set rules here, but these are the chords I'll be using. So let's have a listen to part 1 slower now, and you'll be able to follow my hands or my chord patterns as I'm going through this, because I'm just using these shapes that I just showed you. So just get used to moving between them. If you're enjoying the video so far, please do give it a like and a thumbs up. That helps quite a lot. If you have any questions at all, just leave them down below. Or if there's any videos in particular that you'd like me to hone in on, or I'm happy to help, so just let me know down in the comments. I do have a free cheat sheet, so if any of these chords are new to you, I've put everything on this poster size cheat sheet, and all the chords and the notes on the fretboard are there as well. So that's free. You can check that out up here or down in the description. So there's a few nice things I want to show you in part 2. It starts off with these 3 big chords. It sounds like this. So excuse my lilting again there. We're going from this G shape. It's a C chord because we're in the key of G. So there's C. And I'm trying to follow the bass hand on the accordion. So Shane usually plays this C, then he goes to an F, the B shape. 1 finger, and then we're going to, he plays a B note here, which is an F sharp minor shape. So it goes G, and we have the B, F sharp minor. We hold that for 2 before falling back to our home chord, the D shape. So it goes 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 D. So that's the first three chords. Little slower. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 2 2 3 4 5 6 10 to the D. So if we just stick with that for a moment, a few things that I want to point out with this chord right here, this B shape, you want to get a little bit more accurate with your right hand. You really want to, when you're striking that, you want to hit that low A string and try and avoid that bottom D. It's not going to be the end of the world if you hit that bottom D, but it's just nice practice to start getting more accurate with your right hand there. So going 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 into the F sharp, holding that twice, and then D. So speed it up. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Cool. So we move on to the next part now. So here's what I do after those three chords to finish off part B1. It goes. So it's just this little line that kind of follows the melody. So I fall into this D minor shape. I start playing the D major shape, just dropping my third finger. Then I slide up to the G shape, which we've covered already. Slide back down to the F sharp minor shape, which is basically your D without the little finger. And then I have this line where I go. So I'm doing a hammer on pull off. So first finger. So it's hammer on, pull off, pull off. And then from the third to the fourth finger. So that's how I go about it. So it goes. So that might just take a little bit of time getting up to speed. And you want to get accurate with your right hand here, just really playing those middle strings, those inside D, inside G, and then finally to that low A string for that. Down, up, down, down, up, down. So you kind of still have that jig strum going. So it's a lot going on, but it's worth trying out. So, and just take it slow again. So it's actually trickier trying to do it slow. So used to it. Let's bring up the pace. So try that out, and then we'll move on to the very end of part B2. So the start of the B2 section is the same as before, it just follows the accordion bass again. So now from here, what I try and do is just beef up the very end. So instead of playing on the inside, I'm just trying to play that same kind of line on the low end. So something like that. So when it's up to speed, it sounds like this. It's a little awkward to do that hammer on with the first to the third finger and then pull off. But so it's not necessary, but this just how I went about it when I was recording it with Shane, so I thought I'd show you. So I'm going from this D shape, I'm dropping my third finger to get this. It's an F sharp shape in the bass there, and then we have up to the G, which we covered full G. So it goes dun, 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 dun. So it goes G, you're dropping it down to this shape, the F sharp. It's kind of a D modal with the F sharp in the bass. And then, so this is the awkward, I'm still holding my little finger there on the 5th fret, so it's quite an awkward little run to do, but it's what I did in the video, so I thought I'd show you here. So it goes 1st to the 3rd, and then pull off. So it's exactly what I did here, except now we're doing it on the low one. So you don't have to keep your little finger in place if it's handier. It's a lot handier like that actually, if you don't hold the little finger in place. But I just have a habit of holding that one, because there's always a nice drone there if you have that little finger in there. But it's good practice to maybe try that out. So that's how I finished that tune off. It's just a little bit beefier on the low end there. So let's have a listen to part 2 now, slowed down, and you can see what I'm doing up to speed. Now let's put parts 1 and 2 together at a slow speed, and just remember that the first part we were working on those inside shapes, and then for the second part we have those big chords, and finally finishing with. So trying to put all of that together at a slower speed. Let's have a go at that now. Great, so now let's try and up that tempo a bit. We're going to play it at session speed now, and if this is too fast for you to follow the chords, you can click the button down in the corner here, which will slow the tempo down, and that's just a suggestion. And then maybe challenge yourself by pushing it up slowly but surely, and getting that right hand going, getting these chord movements going, and following that melody a bit. Mighty stuff. Now, as a bonus, I have Shane Hayes to play the accordion straight through without me in your way, so you can practice along with him. Let's give that a go. Well, I hope you found that tutorial helpful. If you want to go even more into DADGAD and dive right in, I have a full course, and I'll leave that right up in the corner here or down in the description. You can get a link to that onto my website. And if you want to continue your journey right now, here is a reel that I played with Ian King and Teach called Porthole of the Kelp. It's in E minor, very cool reel, and I get right funky with it, so check that out. I'll talk to you on the next one. All the best.